It's true. I'm a transvestite. Bloody hellfire. Just wait till I tell me mum.
I feel that we must be intruding because you must have got a very tight schedule. You're very busy always, aren't you?
Yes, terribly.
Does it all begin here in the
It
morning?
all begins here in the morning when I'm not called till quarter to 9, actually, myself with my breakfast, but the dog is taken out at 8 and then the other one's taken out at 8:15, so you can imagine I'm awake, you know what I mean, because they sleep with me.
They do?
Yes.
On your bed? On this
This
lovely
one sleeps
four-poster?
on the bed when he doesn't sleep in the fireplace. He prefers the fireplace, it's cooler. This one has baskets, you see. And then, of course, I have my secretary up and we have all these massive letters. I do now have a separate secretary for my 10,000 health letters I do a year. Because it's really got
10,000 letters.
This is unpaid, unthanked. This is my penance for all the fun I have and other things, that I really do that as a tool, you know, to help other people.
But are you sort of, I don't know, let's put it this way, very, very efficient with your time? You'd never spare, you'd never waste time.
Well, I can't afford to, you see. I mean, after all, I did the world record with books last year. I wrote 21 books last year and 20 the year before. It's a world record twice. And I'm now on my 10th book since Christmas.
But you've written such an astonishing amount of books that what really makes me wonder is why you go on writing.
Well, darling, look, I shall be 76 on Saturday. Now, will you tell me what I should do? Sit and wait to be asked to parties, which I hate, play bridge, which I loathe, or be useful in the world? And I think I still have a message. You know, I've been a crusader all my life. I still have a message for the world. I believe I have something to say. And, you know, I believe in purity for women. And this is the thing I've been fighting for. And of course all my health things, and I think I've got something which people want to hear. In fact, I know they want to hear it because I've now got 80 million books sold over the world and 45 million in circulation in America, which I take not as a compliment to me, but a compliment to England. For a long time they said, we're not going to have English authors, especially romantic ones.
On that bit of film, you mentioned your 76th birthday, and I haven't seen you since you had it. What was it like?
Well, it was very quiet and I had all my family.
Lovely presents?
Wonderful presents.
Do you like birthdays?
How about time, my beloved? Have you got me something really expensive for my birthday? Hey,
Whoa.
cheap plonk. I bought it at Spars this morning. Not very tasteful, darling. I should think so, at 99.5p. Sit down, love. What's the long face for? You look like you've just come back from a bloody funeral or something. It's my birthday. And that's why I got some cheap flowers along with my quad stamps at the petrol station. Quad stamps? Cheap flowers? You stingy fucking bastard!
Well, I've got to the stage now when I rather boast about my birthdays. In the old days, I used to keep them quiet. Now I'm getting like my mother, who saying I'm in my 99th year before she was, you know. And now I'm 76. I think I can say I'm 76. Look at me, aren't I wonderful? So I say it.
When you were 18, can you remember your birthday then?
Well, I can remember just after my birthday because I came away from school and we went to Bembridge in the Isle of Wight, and I had my first proposal 3 days after we arrived from a colonel who was about 45 with a red moustache, and I was terrified.
Terrified of what?
Of him. I ran away, went to my mother and said, look, this man's proposed to me. And she said, darling, you've got to look after your own love affairs. So I did after that.
Always remember that homes express their owner's personality. For a home is only a background, a frame for the setting of a jewel. That jewel is you. That's really what my grandmother made in her own houses. They were a setting for her and her sense of theatre and her sense of fantasy. My grandmother moved here in the early 50s. It's a Victorian house that was built on the site of an earlier Tudor house by Beatrix Potter's grandfather. And Beatrix Potter used to come here a lot as a child and loved the place and based Mr. McGregor's garden in Peter Rabbit on the kitchen garden here. My grandmother was a great correspondent and would write to everybody. And she used to write on this desk. We used to get them all the time. Lots of letters from her with lots of advice and her views on lots of different things, and actually telling us off quite a lot about what we did. This I found, which is extraordinary, is her first novel, which she wrote in 1907 at the age of 6. And it's actually rather charming. My grandmother used to lie down on the sofa every morning and dictate her novels to a secretary who used to sit nearby. She wrote,
I grew up on the streets of Salford, so the one thing I was an expert on was the streets of Salford. So I decided to write a drama set on the streets of Salford. I knew the language of the streets of Salford, I knew the characters of the streets of Salford, so I wrote about the streets of Salford. And the streets of Salford were populated by rude old bags.
What the hell do you want, you cockney bellend?
Rude old men.
Oh, fuck off!
Dirty old men.
Go on, say it again. You want some swimming lessons, do you, little girl?
Amateur Casanovas.
You're not just a bit of skirt. You've got a cracking pair of knockers as well, Deirdre, honest.
Busybodies.
Looking at them won't do you any good, Ernie. Take my advice. Get Emily to buy a strap-on.
Whores.
I charged 30 during the war.
And Jack the Lads.
He goes on a bit with this sex maniac thing though, doesn't he? It's a bit obvious. He's trying to cover up the fact he really likes fellas' asses. I do not like fellas' asses. Shut the fuck up, you. Oh, thank you. Come on, Jerry. Go on.
So I put them all in.
I would say such wonderful things to you. There would be such wonderful things to do if I were the only girl in the world and you were the only boy.
Won't you let me wear your clothes at least once or twice a night?
When one is in love, one sees only the face of the man one loves, hears only his voice and the beat of his heart.
Go on, say it again. You want some swimming lessons, do you, little girl?
Because no one else has any importance. To me, he is the only man, and to him, I am the only woman in the whole wide world.
You're not just a bit of skirt. You've got a cracking pair of knockers as well.
And you were the only boy. Nothing else would matter in the world today. We could go on loving in the same way. A garden of Eden, just made for two, with nothing to mar our joy.
Let me smoke your cigarettes.
I would say such wonderful things to you.
Tell me I'm not old news.
There would be such wonderful things to do if you were the only girl in the world.
And you were the only boy.
We thought Cunnilingus were an island in Caribbean.
Ah, well, times have changed.
Aye, and not for the better.